Hey, it's Scott, and today I wanted to turn this space here into a YouTube setup. We're gonna work on the setup. I'm gonna have two cameras here, a main camera and an overhead camera. We're gonna set up the table, which I actually just got and is still in my car. We're gonna work on the lighting and we're gonna work on the sound, of course. So let's go from 0 to 100, hopefully by the end of this video. So I got this table specifically because, as I've said before, I don't want to kind of kill the space in here. I have a pretty decently wide open space, and if I just boom, throw a table right in the middle, it takes up all that space. So with this table, I can just quickly make it really nice and compact, pick it up, and move it off to the side. Let's go ahead and get the lighting set up. All right, so what I've been thinking is to put my key light right over there, and I want to, again, hang it from the ceiling or from the wall, at least with one of those wall plates that I have showed in my previous videos around this studio. And I did order a few more, so they're not here yet. For today, I'm just going to use a light stand and kind of figure out more or less where a good position for that light is. While we're at it, we're gonna get this Christmas tree out of the way too. I'm gonna try, for now, the nice photo, HA3300B. I don't love this light at all, it feels cheap. It has a louder fan than like the aperture lights, but I'm using my aperture light upstairs. I'm gonna use the 120D as my kind of hair light. So for now, we're going to use this. An aperture, if you want to send me a 300D Mark II, then I'd love to replace this light with it. Okay. Alright, so this is what happens when you use cheap lights. An aperture, this is why you should send me a 300D Mark II to replace this with. That would be awesome. Because yeah, just tightening this down, not even putting that much force on it, that just totally snapped. But for now, that's what we got. I'm gonna have to reconsider that, but let's just test it out just to see, how this generally looks or how it works. I'm gonna get the power plugged into that because I haven't done that yet. And we have light. I think I want to bring it a little bit closer. I really probably should remove everything before I move this. Don't do this at home, even though, oh, there it goes. Again, this is not my final setup. I'm only doing it like this because I want to simulate where it will be once it's properly mounted. Okay, this is far from the final position of the lights or the camera or anything like that. I still have all the house lights on as well. So let's just go ahead, and I think that's a little bit better. Good enough for now anyway. We could throw a grid on there if we really wanted to control that split a little bit more. But for now, we're just gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna move ahead to an overhead light. Alright, let's quickly turn off the house lights. It is giving a little bit of a light on the background there, as well as on me. So let's turn it up a little bit. It was at 50%. That's probably too much on me especially, but I don't know where that's at now, but something like that maybe. That feels good. Let me also turn this off of auto white balance. Alright, so this is what we got here, and let's check out my light, my overhead light. This is giving the background a little bit of a light as well as a little bit of a rim light on me. I think that's a good level there. It feels balanced, I think, with the key light. There's definitely a good amount of shadow on here. I'm going to consider setting up one more light that's straight overhead. Let's set it up anyway. I'm not sure if I'll always use it, but it might be able to give it a little bit more feel overall, instead of this feeling like such a one light type setup. I apologize for talking to the monitor the whole time. I'm, obviously checking out what's going on here. Alright, so I've set my camera's white balance using the color checker gray card that I always use, and a waveform, just make sure that the RGB values line up. And I've set it, of course, to my key light because that is not a bicolor light. I can't change the color temperature of that. This flow light that I just put up is bicolor, so I do want to match those color temperatures. So I'm just going to use my Seikonic C800 color meter to measure the color temperature of the key light here, and then I can adjust the bicolor flow light above to match that. Okay, so it's reading at about 5500K. So now I'm going to go ahead and set that to daylight, which I assume is going to be pretty close to 5600K. Before I turn on that flow light and check it, I just thought that's kind of cool. I can finally do one of those perfect silhouette type shoots where I can change my voice and you know, talk about something with hiding my identity. Although obviously you know who I am. Alright, so actually looking at this is a pretty nice light just by itself. But anyway, let's check it. It's set to 5600K right now on the light. And it's a little bit lower than that, but I think this should match no problems. Alright, so this is now with the key light on 100% and the flow light on 100%, although that has 2 layers of diffusion on it, in addition to the diffusion that, you know, slides in there. And I actually think that this is really nice. Let me go ahead and turn off the flow light one more time. And yeah, now you can see there's a lot more shadow here. It looks a lot more lit. Obviously this is a lit video, but this looks obviously lit. So let me go ahead and turn that back on. And while you can see the reflection in the glass there in the back, I do think that this just fills it in that little bit more and kind of makes it feel less obviously lit. So I think I'm gonna go with this. Alright, so next up is audio, because for now I've just been using the on-camera mic, and I doubt this has very pleasant audio. I apologize for that. Obviously this is a setup video, can't start off from good sounding audio, but just threw up a boom pole with maybe the Deity S-Mic 2S, and let's get that going. Alright, so I'm not totally sure here. The mic is right here. It might be cleared by the overhead camera. It might have to move it back just a little bit, but as of now it looks like it's still pretty close, so this might work. Let's go ahead and set up that overhead camera now. The overhead camera, obviously I'm not going to be able to see from here unless I'm always looking up at it, which I'm not going to do. I want to be able to talk and just casually have that going at the same time. So what I'm going to do is put my Hollyland Mars 400S onto the camera, and then I have my OC 21.5 inch monitor. Just put the receiver on there, and I can view both this camera and that overhead camera at the same time, looking in the same direction. So it's going to be a little bit more casual. All right, so I got my Zcam E2 F6 here, which is, you know, overkill for up there, but I love this camera. And the overhead setup that I have is really, really solid, so I can use something like this with no problem. If you want to see how I set that up, check out my update video of this new studio. I have an 85mm lens on here right now. I'm actually going to go grab my 24-105. I think that's going to be a bit better for that situation. Obviously, I can adjust how long I need it, and also f4 or even f5.6 or something is going to be better, I think, for this tabletop thing, so that way you don't have so much out of focus. And of course this can handle higher ISOs, no problem, so even if I am a little bit low on light, then it's totally fine. Now here I've got the Hollyland Mars 400S, so let's go ahead, get the transmitter attached to the camera. We're going to go throw it on to my setup overhead. Alright, so I've got that camera set up. I'm not sure if it's completely lined up with this table. I might have to shift everything back just a little bit. But let's go ahead and put the receiver onto the monitor here. First, let's get the antenna on there. So I've got the cheese plate on the back of here. We're just going to go ahead and screw that right into there. And then I have an SDI cable all ready to go. So we're going to connect that. Got a V-mount battery here. This is a Gen Energy battery. Nice and big. This is 195 watt hours, so it lasts a while. And then I got my D-tap power cable. Turn the Hollyland on, and it should automatically connect to the same channel as the transmitter. It's really, really easy to use. I've never had to do anything special to get things connected. Let's see, there it is, the Hollyland for a better view. Alright, it's a little dark. I have no idea what the settings are on my camera right now, actually. I'm going to get this table lined up with my overhead camera, and then I'm going to put tape down on the floor so that way I can mark the spot, because I do want to move this around. I don't want to have to keep it here all the time. In the future, I may actually switch this out with the EOS R. I'm not completely sure. Right now, I'm recording this on the EOS R, so maybe it's best to have the same camera. I'm not sure, but for now, let's just line this up, see what we got. Alright, so this setup is almost complete. I believe, again, I haven't checked anything on the computer, but I believe it's almost complete. What we're gonna do now is just go ahead and put this back over there, zoom in on this camera just a little bit more, make sure it's white balanced. We're gonna get this recording in H.265 just to keep that file size a bit small, because this is gonna be, you know, more, less critical recording than, you know, shooting professional jobs. And then I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and pretend to show some kind of quick little introduction video just for like 30 seconds to show what my idea of how this can work, and just to, for myself, see how it's actually gonna look on camera. So this is it, and today we're going to be talking about the Mars 400S. This is again just to pretend, just to make sure here. Now with something like this, you know, it comes off the table a little bit. I think it's going to be a little bit out of focus. I'm going to have to adjust for that if I'm using the F6, because it's all manual focus. If I'm using the EOS R up there, I can keep it on autofocus and, you know, lift stuff up and show it even closer to the camera, and that's going to be good. But for now, we're just going to work like this. This is close enough to the table. As you open this up, you can see that I've kind of customized the inside of this case. This case I bought on Amazon, but it came with, you know, this pinch foam. I just pulled it all out and then put the actual custom cut foam from the Mars 400 package actually right inside there, and it fits with this just right around it, just as a little bit of extra cushion. And this is a pretty compact little hard case for the Mars 400S kit. I can fit, you know, everything the way that it was fit when it originally came in the package, so it's perfect. Yeah, and this is how it looks. Now, just as a quick test, let's turn off my backlight there. And you can see that even for this, actually, that backlight really plays a vital role in not only my shot in the background, the light of the background, but in this tabletop part right here. So that's really good. I'm glad I put that up there. Let's go ahead and turn off this flow light once more, just to see how it looks by comparison. Yeah, so that's also kind of dark, I think. Again, I feel more shadowy. This doesn't feel quite as natural. I'm gonna see how it looks on the computer, but this looks okay, I think, for the tabletop part, but still a little bit dull maybe. If I turn that back on, it just kind of brightens it up a little bit. It gives it a little bit of shine on the table here, which is not perfect, and like I said, it does have this glare in the door behind me, but I think it's not that bad. This generally, right now looking on the monitor, looks a little bit more natural on me. It looks a little bit more evenly lit right here. Actually works out pretty good. I might have to mess with levels a little bit. I gotta double check. I know this is on 100%, this is on 100%. I gotta double check what percentage I put that on, because I did adjust it a little bit here with this remote. So, but generally I think this is pretty balanced. I think the audio should be okay. Generally speaking, I'm pretty satisfied with the setup, and this is gonna be a new, pretty versatile spot. This might be where I'm shooting a lot of my upcoming videos. So if you are a watcher of this channel, then let me know what you think. And if you like the setup, or if you like the one that I've been using with the blue background, and we'll see what comes up in the future videos. Of course, I can zoom in a little bit more on this. You know, if I have something smaller, if I have something bigger like a backpack, this is going to be great. I could even zoom out a little bit more if I move that mic back, because it's right on the edge at the moment. But yeah, and this is my new studio space. So if you like it, if you found this video helpful, if it gave you any ideas, then please do give me a thumbs up. And again, if you're not already subscribed, please do consider doing so. We're gonna have lots of new reviews coming, some pretty cool stuff coming up. I think some pretty exciting reviews, hopefully soon. And if you're still here watching this video somehow, thank you for watching.